This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, well, I guess I have to start by saying Feliz de Cinco de Mayo. I don't know if I said that right. Anybody, Andy, did I say that right? Or Ralph? Happy Cinco de Mayo,
Those
okay?
margaritas.
Happy Cinco, yeah.
Happy 5th of May. After a few margaritas, who will care, right? But delighted to have you guys on board. As normal, I want to share something that I'm kind of fired up about. We'll talk about it for just a few minutes and then we'll go open mic and we'll talk about anything that's on your mind. I want to talk today about your royal duty. And I mean that somewhat literally. And if you're not feeling very kingly or queenly, you'll understand what I mean as we get a little bit further in. But here goes. We hear a lot these days about the importance of discovering our why. Why do we do the things we do? Why do we make the sacrifices? Why do we work so hard? Why do we grind? And typically, what people say is that they work so hard and do so much because they want to provide a better life for their family, for their spouse, and for their kids. And certainly that probably is a big reason why. But some people have other reasons, and sometimes they're unknown even to the person who is so driven. Perhaps you're trying to prove to your mom or dad or a teacher or a coach who said you'd never amount to anything. Sometimes that chip on the shoulder is our great why. Sometimes we are really driven by a cause. You know, and I'll tell you, this is not, I'm not saying it's my only why or my great why, but I really do want to open more and more orphanages in Africa. And we're supporting one, we're opening a second one right now. To me, that's a why. That's a why to work hard and generate revenue and fund that. But that's not what I want to talk to you about today, because I don't think that us discovering our why is nearly as important as discovering our client's why. After all, we are fiduciaries, and it's our role to put our buyers and sellers' needs ahead of our own. And I am concerned that sometimes as real estate agents, we presume too much. We tend to answer questions ourselves that we haven't even asked. We think we know what our clients want without going deep to actually figure it out. Let me give you a couple examples of what I mean. If a client says to you that they want to buy a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house in Tomball, well, our tendency is to jump right in. Well, okay, well, I certainly know how to pull a search from the MLS, and I'm going to find all these great 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom homes in Tomball. But I think we need to put the brakes on just a little bit and go much deeper. My favorite word in sales is curiosity. And rather than presuming we know why people want to do certain things, I think we need to go deeper and ask more questions and discover their why behind their what. There's a scripture, Proverbs 25:2, you may have heard of it. It says this: it's the glory of God to conceal a matter, but to search out a matter is the glory of kings. In other words, what brings praise and esteem to those in authority is that they dig, search. They stay curious until they figure out what's really going on. Are you aware that our titles, real estate agent, realtor, speak of a royal background? The word real, is from a Latin word that means royal. And real or real estate, realty, came to be associated with land because in the medieval world, all land was presumed to be the property of the royal family. Real estate was the belongings, the royal belongings of the king and queen. So our very titles, realtor, real estate agent, speak of a royal duty. And remember the scripture I read from Proverbs? It is the glory of a king to search a matter out. Now, I realize I'm tying two things together, but I'm doing it for a reason. I want you to see, as part of your core responsibilities, your core duty is to stay curious and figure out the deepest motivations of your clients. So let's use an example of this. Let's say that you have a client who says to you that they would like to move to Creekside in the Woodlands. And being a good realtor, you don't just leave it at that. You stay curious and you ask them, well, tell me, why are you wanting to move to Creekside in the Woodlands? And they may say to you, well, we really like the schools in that area. Many realtors will be like, okay, great, I got it. You want great schools? Creekside's Tomball ISD. They put their best principals up there. Let's go. But I want to encourage you to use an old sales strategy meant to uncover the deepest needs and motivations of people, and it's entitled Going 3D. You don't just ask one question, accept the answer. You try to find out what's below that, and then again, what is below that. So here's an example from this family that wants to move to Creekside because they really like the schools in that area. So I would suggest you follow up to an answer like that and say something like, well, why are good schools important to you? And they may something like, well, we have 3 kids and we want them to have a great education. Now that seems very obvious, doesn't it? And now we really think we're dialed in. We understand typical family. They want to live in the suburbs. They want to go to good schools. They want their kids to get a good education. But I would recommend on the 3 deep strategy that you don't just leave it there. For example, you could go on to say, you sound like good parents. Can you tell me what impact it would have on your family to have your kids in great schools? Now, you may think that answer is obvious, right? Well, they're going to get a good education. They're going to be well-rounded people. Maybe they'll get a scholarship to college. That's what we normally think of. But if you ask the question, is it possible that they would answer like this? Well, there was a gang fight in our daughter's school last week and 3 kids got stabbed. Wow, did this just suddenly go in a whole different direction? The family wants to move to Creekside for good schools. You think you know what's motivating them, and you really had no clue at all. But now, because you've gone 3 deep, you've exercised your royal duty of curiosity to search out a matter. Now you know the key issue is not just the academic ratings of each school, but you need to go in a different direction. You need to have different conversations with different people, asking different questions, because really what the parents are saying is that it's the safety and the security of their children that is paramount, not the academic credentials of the school. So this is another level. It's not where most agents go, but it is where the best agents go. Remember, it is the glory of a king to search out a matter, to get to the root of the issue, to search it out, to figure it out so that you can truly provide a solution that your clients need. It's not only your fiduciary duty, it's a duty that is reflected in your title as a royal agent, a real estate agent, a realtor. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Somebody remind me, what was that strategy called of going deep, asking additional questions? Go 3 deep. That's what it was. And asking not just yes and no questions, but open-ended questions, which will help you get to the root of that. Okay, sometimes in these situations, you'll find out that somebody's going through a divorce, or somebody has recently been widowed, or somebody has lost their job. I mean, there's all kinds of life issues that can come out if you go 3 deep that may lead you in a different direction to finding a solution for what they're trying to accomplish. Okay, well, I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me, you kings and queens of real estate. Let's go ahead and just open the mic and say, what have you got going on this Cinco de Mayo? What would you like to talk about? By the way, welcome a whole bunch of you who've joined us: Kelsey, Victoria, Nancy, Maya, Heidi, Jason, Letty, welcome. Kevin?
I've got a comment and a question. Great to see Oscar and some other new names on here. And we had a really good start to the week, did we not? Great Monday, and then Frank did a good lunch and learn on Tuesday. It wasn't Cinco de Mayo, but the people came and heard what they needed to hear, and it's really good. And so I put out a little challenge to folks just to pay attention. Our next, Power Monday's coming up. What is it, June 6th, Frank?
Yes, Gene Frederick.
And will it be Thursday of that week for the lunch and learn?
Actually, we're going to move lunch and learns to Wednesday consistently going forward. We were on a Thursday, we went to Tuesday. Wednesday's our day going forward.
Yeah. And so my encouragement to everybody is to think about who you want to invite, and don't go out and invite them right now, but do everything you can between now and then to build your relationship with them. And then as you get closer to that week, it's a more natural ask to say, hey, by the way, I got this going down. So that's the suggestion. Second thing.
Yes, sir.
In terms of questions, what I like to do, I'm not the best at it, is simply say, tell me more about that. So there you go. We need a house in Creekside. Really? Tell me more about that.
Tell me more about that.
Tell me more
easy.
about that. It's open-ended, and you say it in a very cheerful way, and they said something's important to them, and you're like, wow, tell me more about that. Whatever it is, that's just a great phrase to spark the curiosity, and then the conversation goes where it goes. The third thing is, I do have a question for the group, but maybe we'll circle back to that, but it has to do with how to find off-market listings. But maybe let's get comments from folks on brilliant. Imagine that, using words and the meaning of words. That's tricky, Frank. You pulled one on us.
So Kevin, I'm looking at my bookcase. I'm trying to see. I've got a couple copies of that book that Kevin and Fred were recommending. It's Know What to Say. What's the name of that?
Exactly How to Say It.
Exactly How to Say It. There we go. It must be on my other bookcase. But Kevin, your phrase sounds like it came directly out of that book. Tell me more about that. What difference?
It actually came out of a different book, but yeah, we got that one too.
Okay.
These books,
if you don't have it, it's a super easy read. He just gives you a phrase and then 2 or 3 pages explaining how to use it. Yeah, real simple. Real simple,
small,
not intimidating.
not big.
Okay, awesome. Okay, anybody else? Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, Letty.
By the way, nobody has commented on my beautiful new shirt yet. Can y'all see that? Maybe you can't. It kind of blends in, but it says Frank Gray in EXP orange and then EXP Realty below. So anyways, I just ordered 5 new shirts from Queensboro, and they came in yesterday. So I'm debuting the first one today. All right, Letty, did you want to join in?
I just have a question. I've thought about this and then I just don't ask it. And then I'm like, I'm just going to ask it. As far as attraction and recruiting, speak to us, those of us that are very new and have not had a lot of financial success, but are out there learning, absorbing, sponge everything. And I'm at that moment where it's like, I want to share, I want to bring people on, I want to attract them. And, but with a limited experience,
Sure.
I feel confident to attract them to EXP, but I don't feel confident in I have not had that financial success.
Sure. So Letty, you're really not at a disadvantage, and I'd hate to see you kind of talk yourself out of what could be a very lucrative attraction strategy. What I would just share with people, if the level of your experience or results comes up, say, hey, I'm a fairly new agent, but I did my due diligence. I've decided from the very beginning to align my career with the company that I think is going to make the biggest difference in our industry for the long term. And I would invite you just to come check it out. In fact, as a more experienced agent, I would really appreciate your opinion. And then just invite them to come to our events, invite them to watch the video with you, invite them to a three-way call with me. So don't feel like you have to be the shining example of the most successful realtor to invite others. The fact that you have chosen to align with EXP is really all you need, because you have options. You made this choice. You're inviting other people to come check it out for themselves. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
So on the conversation that we had on Monday with the Kevin and Fred Attraction podcast, there was a guy, Adam, from Washington State, and he just held a mastermind for the top agents in Washington and Oregon, and a number of them were much bigger producers than he is. And he said until that mastermind, he had this limiting belief that he could only attract agents who were less productive than he. But after that mastermind, because he's already signed several of them to EXP, he realizes that's not the case at all. So there's no limitations for any one of us inviting anybody. Okay. Hey, let me ask you a question, because this continues to come up in my conversations with agents. If you're a buyer's agent and you want to protect your client's right to cancel the contract if the appraisal comes in short, should you use that appraisal addendum? What do you think? Is the appraisal addendum designed to protect the buyer's earnest money if the appraisal comes in short?
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
It's to protect the seller.
That's right. Nancy has got it. Kevin was shaking his head in the right direction. This is still a point of mass confusion, and it gets agents in big trouble for not understanding this. When you represent a buyer, your buyer has the largest bundle of rights possible just by using the third-party financing addendum. It states right in there, if the appraisal comes in short, the buyer can cancel and get their earnest money back, and it doesn't matter if it's conventional or a government-backed VA, FHA. But if the appraisal addendum is used, and there's different options on there, the buyer can give away the entire right of cancellation, or they can limit their right of cancellation. But in either case, as Nancy said, power is being shifted to the seller. So if you're a buyer's agent, you want to protect your buyer, do not use the appraisal addendum. Now, the reason is...
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was just going to say, the appraisal addendum, this is my view, and so correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like the appraisal addendum is a good way, if the buyer is willing, to be able to actually get the deal, to be able to get them to accept your offer, because it does give the seller some more protection. So that's kind of how I use it whenever I'm working, and especially if I've written already a bunch of contracts, because it just makes it a little bit more attractive to the seller.
You're exactly right, Nancy, and that's why the appraisal addendum is being used so often right now. But it's important as a buyer's agent that you understand exactly what you're doing. You're giving away rights to the seller. You're limiting your buyer's right of cancellation. And if you're doing that with full knowledge of what you're doing, and your buyer knows what they're doing, then it's an awesome thing because it strengthens your offer, makes it more attractive, more likely it's going to be accepted. But please don't, and I had this happen to an agent just last week, filled out that appraisal addendum, gave away all the buyer's rights, thinking she was protecting her buyer, and she did exactly the opposite. So be very, very careful. You know what the solution is? If you want to know what these documents actually mean, you know what the first thing is you should do? Kevin's reading my mind. Read the doggone things,
Yeah.
right? Read them. I always say, if you just read the documents that you shove in front of your buyers and sellers and ask them to sign, you are ahead of 98% of the other agents out there. And I know that's true because the appraisal addendum is only a one-page document. There's not many words on it. And all it takes is to read it and understanding will come most of the time. But agents are afraid of the words and they tend to not read them. So just please do. And if you don't understand it, talk to Michael, talk to me, talk to another agent, talk to your mentor, and we'll get you squared away on that. Okay, what else is on your mind today other than margaritas? Kevin?
So I have a couple that wants a 4-bedroom house in Tomball. No, just kidding. That's just to see if Blythe is awake. So the reality, though, is they have targeted a particular neighborhood. And my question is, how might you creative geniuses on the call help a client to try to get a property that's off the market? So there's a neighborhood, it's 5 or 10 streets. What are some ways that actually have worked, or some that might have worked, maybe they did or didn't? But I would love to I've had success one time doing that, so I have exactly one data point, and that I don't want to build too big a mountain on one data point. So I'd love to get ideas for trying to attract sellers to list their house and sell it to my buyer.
Okay, brain trust, it's all yours. They're being modest, Kevin. You know they know. Any thoughts? How do you find off-market properties, Victoria?
Well, one idea that I've heard is you can go around in the particular neighborhood you're looking in and drop off CMAs.
Okay, there you go. Maybe show them the actual market value of their home might entice them to purchase. Okay, I appreciate you getting in the game.
So it looks real pretty, and maybe if you have a book, put your book in there.
Okay, I love it. A white label book, maybe from NAEA.
I'm getting ready to write my book.
Okay. Oh, you're literally going to write your own?
That's what everything I'm reading. Write your book.
So,
I watched Coach Burt. He said, write your book.
Okay, Victoria, keep in mind, you don't necessarily have to write your book, because through our EXP affiliation with the National Association of Executive whatever, NAEA, they've got about 10 books that are white label. How to prepare your home to sell for top dollar, creative marketing strategies in today's economy, all those kind of things that you can download, put your face, your name, write your bio, and have it published as your book. And they've got about 10 of them ready to go.
Now, where do I find this?
So I sent out the link a few weeks ago. I'll send it again to everybody after this call. Okay. But that's a quick way to establish
perfect
credibility. Absolutely. All right, Ralph, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, I want to share something not original to me, but to the person that shared it with me. Was a genius in this market, and he said, I would take a picture of the family that are wanting to get a home in that neighborhood, and I would spread that in sort of a brochure to all the homes that have not been listed or sold in the last year, and just advertise them as a family who you have, who are willing to buy a home in that property if you would just make it available. So if you're thinking of selling, by all means, contact me, and so on and so forth.
That's awesome, Ralph. The first time I did that was with my mother, who wanted to live in Windsor Lakes, and there were no homes available. And she was on vacation with her husband in another part of the country. And I said, I want you to do this. Go find a cardboard box, tear off the side, get a big magic marker and write on it, help us find our new home in Windsor Lakes, just like you're panhandling on the side of the road. And they took a picture of them, they sent me the picture. I put it on a postcard. I mailed it to every home in Windsor Lakes. And I said, these buyers cannot find what they're looking for. If you're considering selling your home now or anytime in the next year, give me a call. Because I already have the buyers, I may be able to save you thousands in realtor fees. And I think I got 5 listing appointments off that one postcard. And my mom did buy in Windsor Lakes, not off that campaign. It didn't really help her, but it sure helped me get a bunch of listing appointments. So, and I suspect, Kevin, you're aware of that strategy. Victoria?
Well, I'm piggybacking off on that. Another thing you can do, because a lot of sellers are concerned about where they're going to go when they sell, about,
Yes.
how are they going to find their place? And you can also tell them about different options that they have, like bridge offers, like using ribbon, and different companies that will help them stay in their home until they get a home, and show them how you can put them in not the buyer's seat, the driver's seat.
Yes. So,
For
by the
house.
way, a ribbon is new to me, but Andrew Franklin sent me an email a couple days ago introducing me to the ribbon rep in this area, and he highly recommended we bring him in for a conversation with our agents. So he and I are trying to connect, and we'll have that hopefully on the schedule in the next couple of weeks. That may provide some options for buyers who are scared to sell, sellers who are scared to sell until they have something secured on the other end.
So,
Any other thoughts for cooking? Kevin, go ahead.
just to share that I did take that idea from the book, and it did work one time. Actually had the buyers write a letter, so it wasn't a postcard, a little bit of a higher end neighborhood, and they wrote a letter and they said, hey, we want to live in this neighborhood.
Wow.
With their photos in it. And of course, as a letter, it has a much higher likelihood of actually making it past the trash can to the kitchen counter. And unfortunately, this is just the reality. Our people, they do the same thing with postcards that you and I do. But are there any restrictions around this, Frank, whether my clients send it, include their photos, or I include, obviously I wouldn't use their photo without their approval, but you're saying the simplest is just to do a postcard, QR code, picture with them and the cardboard box saying, we want a house in this neighborhood, and hit it, and maybe even repeat it. But
yeah, I think so. And I think you're right. The postcard is going in the trash can 99% of the time. But if you have a compelling picture like that, a family with a cardboard sign, I guarantee you on the way into the trash can, they're going to be reading that note. So, and if they're thinking about selling, then they'll hold on to it and give you a call. So, yeah, I'm going to just kind of jump in on your question. I would go door to door. I would literally knock on doors in that neighborhood. If it's a 6, 8, 10 block area, go door to door, have a flyer with your information about your potential buyers, and say, I'm out here pounding the pavement trying to find a home for this family that desperately wants to live in this neighborhood. You could also, through tools like Remine and another tool that Truly Title is going to come in and share with us in a few weeks, get phone numbers, email addresses, and then do a call or text campaign or email campaign, or as we already mentioned, a postcard or letter campaign. But the point is, you have to get in front of the people in that neighborhood with your message. So either door knocking, phone, email, text, something of that of that matter. Okay? All right. Yes, Letty?
Frank, I have a open house tomorrow, a Friday afternoon.
Okay.
I had the option to select. It's from someone in the Franklin team, and it's
Nice.
I had the option to select Saturday or Friday, and I couldn't. I ended up that was taken first, so I'm like, oh, it's good. I mean, Frank says after school, if it's close to an elementary school,
Yes.
So I'm doing 4 to 6 tomorrow, and so and I didn't get it confirmed. The actual pictures, it didn't get listed till yesterday, but it is a gated community from the last time that I was there, but it's I'm trying to work around it because I think you said, there's limitations with that, either if it's too hidden or if there's a gated community. But so what I thought of is getting access to it and doing the door hangers within that community. I don't know,
What are you trying to accomplish, Letty? What's your concern about the gate?
well, if they don't live there and they don't have a code,
Okay.
that's a relative there, I mean, they don't have
There's
access
a
to.
simple workaround for that.
Mhm.
You just put in your signage outside the gate, open house, and then call your phone number for access, because you're going to have the gate code to get in. So when they call you for access, you can share it with them.
Okay.
That's typically how it's done at a gated community.
Mhm.
But by the way, congratulations on a Friday. Let us know how that goes. That's unusual, but not unprecedented. And sometimes it works out really well.
Yeah, and they're holding off. Like it just went online. We're going to do any showings until after the weekend open houses. So.
Okay. So I have a question. Wendy, I know that you're pretty new. Jason, Heidi, Maya, anybody else who's fairly new in this business, I would like to know what the greatest challenges are that you have faced so far. Is it the technology? Is it marketing? Is it navigating EXP tools? Is it finding buyers and sellers? What are your greatest challenges so far?
I would love to say something about this because I'm just facing it this morning even. I am having trouble finding people that would like to let me do open houses in my neighborhood because they're saying literally, well, it's going to be under contract tomorrow anyway. I mean, literally my next door neighbor, she would have used me as her realtor, but she's got someone in her like very close knit friend group that would have killed her if she would have used me. And so she's just saying, I mean, and this is every single one that I've called to do, because I really want to get my signs. I bought a ton of open house signs with my pictures on it, and I want to put them out all over my neighborhood just once. And it's just about it going under contract so quickly.
Okay, I have a suggestion for that, Nancy. When you see one in your neighborhood hit the market, and ideally they're hitting the market on Thursday because statistically that is the day to go on market to maximize the sale price for your seller, I would contact the listing agent immediately and set up a saved search so you're notified the moment it hits the market, boom. Or if you see a coming soon sign, call them right then and say, I know you're looking for a quick sale on this property, but one strategy that I've seen effective to maximize the number of offers and the final sale price is to not accept any offers until Sunday evening or Monday evening. Not decide on an offer, and let everybody know we're accepting offers through the weekend. And if they'll do that, then that gives you the opportunity to host the open house on Saturday and on Sunday. And it probably will result in 15 to 16 offers rather than 2 or 3. So if you can have that conversation with the listing agent, it may help. Nancy?
Yeah, that's what I was telling my neighbor. She said, well, she feels like she's going to get bombarded today. And I just told her, well, I didn't tell her about the Sunday part, but I told her if she would let me do it tomorrow, like between 10 and 1. They could all come at the same time because they'll see that there's an open house, you know. Anyway, it's a challenge. It's been a challenge, but I will say that I'll call her. And I literally saw her put the sign up last night. And so
Okay.
I waved her down in her truck when she was putting down the sign.
So
And she
here's the
said,
other thing you can do, Nancy, and this doesn't necessarily help in your own neighborhood, but for anybody wanting to host open houses, I would do two things. First of all, notify the sales managers at the Adam Olson team, Christy Ruffer and Brian, I forget his name, or the sales manager of the Franklin team, and let them know of your availability, because both of them carry huge listing inventories. The other thing that you can do is search the internet for homes that have longer days on market, and they are out there. And this is the opposite of what we normally say. You want to host open on a brand new listing because it has so much attention. Well, now they sell too quick. But I put an offer on a property yesterday for my brother-in-law that has been on the market 60 days. Well, I can guarantee you that would have been open for open houses for anybody who was willing to host it open. So maybe do a days on market search in your market area, find something that's been on the market a week or two, and then see if you can host that. It may be overpriced, there's something wrong with it that it's still on the market, but nevertheless, it'll get you some exposure. All right. Wendy, Maya, Heidi, Jason, any of our other newer agents, what big challenges have you faced? Maya?
I was going to say my biggest challenge is definitely just finding people who are willing to work with me. I'm always finding a lot of renters, and I'm like willing to work with renters, but also sometimes working with renters is a lot of your time for a very little return. So I'm just really trying to balance like working my time and, actually doing that. But also I think another thing that is difficult for me starting out is having people kind of like trust me, because I don't have a reputation yet. They don't really know my background. I'm younger. So just getting people to trust me and believe that I can actually represent them in transactions and stuff.
Yeah.
So, because like I have been, right now my biggest like source of kind of getting my name out there is my Instagram page. So I'm definitely growing that a lot. And then in my community, I have like a Nextdoor business account, a Google page, a Facebook business account. So I've definitely been doing a lot with social media. And then in our neighborhood, we did door hangs, and it was actually kind of funny because we did 2 sets of door hangs, and then just this week, another big agent in the neighborhood, the Jill Smith team, she went and put out door hangs, and I was like, oh, that's funny. I wonder if you saw mine and then went and put out yours. But
no
so,
question,
yeah,
you'll stir up the competition when you start proactively marketing. No doubt about it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I've never seen another door hang from another agent in this neighborhood until now. So yeah, so just finding people who trust me and believe that I'm qualified to represent them is my biggest issue.
Okay, so let me make a couple suggestions, Maya. So first of all, you need to be very confident about your own abilities to help people. You present yourself as a very mature, competent person. That's how you come across. So I would not presume, if I were you, that people perceive you as young or inexperienced. Okay, I wouldn't go there. I would just carry yourself like you present yourself with confidence and have that on the inside. Then the people most likely to do business with you in the beginning are either people who know you very well, friends and family, or people who don't know you at all. And what I mean by that is friends and family want you to succeed, and they know of your competence. They know how hard you work. So don't omit reaching out to them consistently and asking for their referrals. But that other group, people who don't know you at all, I'm talking about online leads, and I know you're doing your social media thing. Those are people who know you at some level. But I would very actively pursue online leads because you do have a nice way about you. You have a nice speaking voice. I think you can convey confidence and build rapport over the phone. And because online leads are so inexpensive, you could start generating some business that way. You know, at a cost of $5 per lead, buy 100 leads for $500 at a 5%, even a 3% conversion rate. Let's say a 1% conversion rate. If you only convert one of them, average commission these days is between $8,000 and $10,000 on a purchase. So I would encourage you to look into generating or purchasing online leads just to get things kickstarted. Maya?
Okay, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I was just going to say that I signed up for the Prime Street thing, so I'm also kind of just waiting to see what comes through for that. And then I was thinking about running since you're talking about online leads, since I do have a Google page, I can run Google ads instead of Facebook ads. And because I've already had a couple visits and clicks to my website. I've had a couple people kind of register, and I got their information on my KV Core through my website. So
Yes.
yeah, I definitely think online leads be a good source also. And thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Oh, by the way, so Prime Street did kick off last week, and I do have access to the dashboard. The lead volume, the last time I checked, was 2 days ago, and I think only 4 of our agents had received leads, and we have about 85 who have signed up. But Chuck, who is our rep, tells me that they're kind of starting slow. They're just making sure the system is all working, and they intend to pump a lot of money into that and generate a lot of leads. In fact, the message I got from him yesterday is that they're already opening new zip codes in the Houston metro area. So if you've not received any leads yet, just do what you can. Go into the dashboard, make sure your profile is up to date, make sure that you're as available as possible. Remember, he said cast the widest net if you want to get more leads. So be as available as possible and as geographically available as possible. And don't put any limitations if you're an experienced agent on the dollar value of the leads you're willing to work. Okay, be very open, very flexible, and you'll maximize your chance to receive leads. Okay, anybody else? Mandy?
Frank, can you put that in the text where we can go and sign up for that?
In Prime Street, yeah, I'll send that out. There was one other thing I promised to send out. Oh, the link to the white papers. So let me just write that down. White papers.
In case
And
I don't email, can we do it in here?
Excuse me, Mandy?
In case I don't get the email, can we do it in here? Because you said you sent it out and I haven't seen that email. Would you just be able to put the link in here in the chat?
I don't know it offhand, and I'm not sure how quickly I could find it.
Oh, okay.
But Mandy, I'll make sure you get it. When I email it to everybody, I'll text it to you, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Victoria?
Well, Stephanie Garrett is having great success with Making It Rain, which is on our KV Core, and they do a good job, especially Maya, you were talking about Google Leads. They do the Google thing and they send it out, and they're actively working to update your ads and keep them fresh and everything. And it's not really, of course, there's different plans, but it's not that expensive. So
you said KV Core, but it's actually accessed, I believe, through EXP.
Well, that's right. You're right. The Enterprise, yeah.
Go into EXP Enterprise. There's a Making It Rain module. You just click on it, and it does work through KV Core, but it's an EXP program through KV Core. Thank you much, Victoria. Hey, Sonu mentioned to me a few days ago, why haven't we had a party in a while? And I think we're overdue for one.
I was going to say that too. I was about to come and talk to you about doing some type of a potluck, but you said that you wanted to be there, so Fridays would not be a good idea. Is that correct?
So yeah, but we could do potluck Thursdays. We could do a Friday night fire pit. We could do a Houston Astros game on the big screen. What's something that you guys would be interested in doing?
I like the fire pit idea, definitely. And I don't know. Well, I guess the Astros game would be inside, but I kind of maybe like the inside outside thing. We have
Yeah.
the game playing, the fire going, food, different stuff. That'd be nice.
Okay, love it. Rochelle?
And not only Astros, maybe some NBA.
Okay. How about some ice hockey? UFC, there we go. Annie, what did you want to say here?
All those ideas sound great. I love the inside outside idea. The garden is so beautiful out there.
Hey, next time you come to the office, bring a bucket. The blueberries overfloweth.
I'd like
Okay.
to donate an avocado tree if you would like to plant it out there. Because I
You
have a
know,
couple.
I've never had success with avocado trees. I mean, they grow big, but I don't get any avocados.
Well, maybe I'll bring you, we'll get lucky with one of these.
Okay. All right. You bring me one, I'll plant it.
Kind
All
of
right,
off topic really fast, but about trees. We planted an apple seed from an apple in the ground like a month and a half ago, and it's already 1.5 feet tall. It's big. I'm really surprised on how fast it's growing.
Wow. Must have been some good soil. Okay, last chance. Anybody? Final words, final comments? We've kind of been all over the place today.
I just
Letty?
want to let you know that I'm willing to be to help with that. So if you
With the plan.
to help put that all together. So just let me know if you
Okay. Consider yourself
you know,
recruited. In fact, if you come into the office today, come see me. We'll put our heads together, pick a date, and get it going.
okay, thank you.
Okay, Letty?
Trying to stay away from or avoiding being a secret agent. Yesterday, I had to reply to a customer of ours in our plumbing business, and he's been a realtor. We've known him from the church for a long time. But something that I could have just sent an email, hey, I think you got the wrong address on this. I actually told myself, you've got to pick up the phone. So I phone and I let him know. I said that just please review the address. When I looked that up, that doesn't seem to be the number. And he goes, oh my gosh, he goes, I have another deal with that address going on, and so you're right, it's in the 12,000. So we got to talking, and then I said, well, that's actually a good thing. I mean, for you to be so busy that you mix up the addresses. So anyway, I kept on talking to him and with his business, and I let him know I am a real estate agent. I have a business, and he goes, okay. And so he's basically telling his story. He's super retirement age, but he's not retiring, and he just does deals, for people that he knows, referrals. So in that conversation, he said, I can pick and choose who I work with, and I don't work for everyone. And I said, that's exactly where we're at and have been for a while in our plumbing business. And I said, I would love to be there. I will be there as well. But in the meantime, that's not the case. So I did tell him, we had a conversation and everything. And later on that day, I sent him although he has my number, he knows us. I did send him my contact information and just put on there, hey, it was great talking to you. If you ever have any of those that you just do not want to work with, either they're out of your area, by all means, I will take care of them, send them my way. So it's just something that I would not have done before, just because, they're, and so I just did it. I mean, you don't know what comes out of it. So I'm trying to not be a secret agent.
So thank you, Letty. Here's what we know for a fact. Activity generates results. And we don't always know which seed that we plant is going to grow up and provide us with a big harvest. So we just have to always be taking every opportunity, planting every seed. And I had this thought on the way to work this morning. There's an old friend who's we've renewed our friendship in the last couple of weeks, and he's presented me with some opportunities that he's very excited about that could turn into something big. I don't know. But the thought that went through my mind was, because I feel this way at the start of every year, I'm going to meet somebody this year who's going to change my life for the better. I had that sense around the first of the year. And I had that sense again this morning that this old friendship being renewed could be one of those life-changing moments that just kind of came out of left field. So you never know. One of my core beliefs is you open the door to new relationships every day. always be very open to meeting new people. That's how I met Kevin Mining. He reached out to me on Facebook, wanted to have coffee at Starbucks. I thought he wanted to sell me life insurance. I honestly thought he was an insurance salesman, and I said yes, because I believe in forming new relationships, keeping that door open. I was so thrilled to get to Starbucks and learn he was a real estate agent looking for a new broker. But I honestly did not know that. I took the appointment thinking he was going to sell me insurance, or try to, okay? So always reach out, always be open. You never know which doors are going to open up to great, great opportunity. Well, you are a royal bunch, and I appreciate you hanging in there with me today. I'm gonna end as we began by sharing the scripture with you to encourage your curiosity with your clients. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, to search out a matter is the glory of kings. And we'll say and queens, because we are all royalty agents, real estate agents. Okay, thanks for joining me. And if I can ever do anything for you in any way, reach out. I'm here for you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Frank. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.